What if we told you that one lie you tell yourself is secretly ruining your life? This lie is the belief in moral autonomy. This is the destructive illusion that Fyodor Dostoevsky, one of the greatest psychological novelists in history, urges us to confront. Dostoevsky's exploration of the human condition speaks to us today in a profound way, revealing timeless truths about self-deception, suffering, and the quest for meaning. He delved deep into the complexities of the human soul, unearthing the roots of our self-deceptions and the consequences they bring. Among these, the most dangerous is the lie of moral independence. The belief that we are free from moral accountability is a seductive illusion, one that leads us down a path of existential emptiness. It's a belief that we can act without consequence, a belief that we are islands unto ourselves, untouched by the moral currents that bind humanity together. This is the lie of moral autonomy. To illustrate this, let's turn to Dostoevsky's masterwork, Crime and Punishment. Here we meet Raskolnikov, a man who falls prey to the belief in moral autonomy. Convinced he is above conventional morality, Raskolnikov commits a heinous crime, believing he will suffer no moral repercussions. But as he soon discovers, this belief is a hollow one. Raskolnikov's descent into torment paints a vivid picture of the destructive power of self-deception, showing us that moral autonomy is a cruel illusion. The belief in moral autonomy blinds us to our interdependence, to the shared moral fabric that binds us all. When we sever this connection, we invite suffering and despair. The lie of moral autonomy is a path that leads to ruin, a path that obscures the truth of our shared human experience, our shared responsibility. Moral autonomy is an illusion that breeds suffering. This is the stark reality that Dostoevsky reveals to us. It's a hard truth to face, but in confronting it, we take the first step on the path to authentic freedom and purpose. True freedom, as Dostoevsky suggests, is not found in isolation, but in interconnectedness. Let's delve into this idea that our lives are intricately woven together, forming a rich tapestry of human experience. Dostoevsky's works echo this profound truth, that we exist, not as solitary islands, but as integral parts of a larger whole. We are all threads in the same fabric, each one of us contributing to the pattern, the color, the texture of our shared existence. But what happens when we cut ourselves off from this tapestry? What happens when we sever these threads of connection? Dostoevsky warns us of the consequences. A life of inner turmoil, a life of moral decay. We are not just individuals, but beings in relation, always influencing and being influenced by those around us. When we deny this interconnectedness, we deny a fundamental aspect of our humanity. We deny the shared responsibility we have towards each other, towards the world we inhabit. This idea of shared responsibility is a powerful counter to the modern obsession with individualism. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing that we are the masters of our own destiny, that we can shape our lives without considering the impact on others. But Dostoevsky's perspective challenges this notion. He reminds us that we are part of an intricate web of relationships, and our actions ripple out, affecting others in ways we may not even realize. It's a humbling thought, isn't it, to think that we are not just responsible for our own lives, but also for the lives we touch. It's a reminder that we are not alone in this world, that we are not isolated beings, but part of a larger, interconnected whole. This is the essence of Dostoevsky's message, that true freedom is not found in isolation, but in connection, in acknowledging our interdependence, in recognizing our shared responsibility. We can find a deeper sense of purpose, a greater understanding of ourselves and the world around us. When we sever our connections with others, we invite inner turmoil and moral decay. Humility isn't a sign of weakness. Quite the contrary, it is a gateway to authentic relationships and purpose. In the rich tapestry of Fyodor Dostoevsky's writings, humility emerges as a beacon of truth, a means of piercing the veil of self-deception. Dostoevsky posits that by acknowledging our own flaws and failings, we can forge genuine connections with others and uncover our true purpose. Humility in Dostoevsky's world is a courageous act of acknowledging our limitations, our fragility. It is about embracing our shared imperfect humanity. It's not about self-degradation or a false sense of modesty, but about seeing ourselves as we truly are. Imperfect beings in an imperfect world. It's about accepting that we don't have all the answers and that we can learn from others. This humility is not passive but active. It requires us to take a hard look at ourselves, to accept our flaws, and to work on improving. It's about recognizing that we are part of a larger whole and that our actions impact others. It's about understanding that we are not the center of the universe, but one thread in the vast tapestry of life. Dostoevsky shows us that humility fosters deeper meaning and resilience. With humility, we can meet life's challenges with a grounded sense of self, not inflated by ego or pride, but fortified by a profound understanding of our place in the world. Humility allows us to navigate life's adversities with grace, to learn from our mistakes, and to grow in wisdom. Moreover, humility paves the way for empathy, for understanding, for compassion. It enables us to see beyond ourselves, to recognize the struggles and triumphs of others, to connect with them on a profound level. It's through humility that we can truly understand and appreciate the interconnectedness of life. However, the journey towards humility is not without its obstacles. Pride, Dostoevsky warns, can blind us, isolating us from others and leading us down a path of personal crisis. Pride can make us forget our shared humanity, our interconnectedness, our responsibilities to one another. Unchecked pride is a root cause of alienation and personal crisis. But through humility, we can counteract the destructive forces of pride, forging a path towards genuine connection, shared responsibility, and a deeper sense of meaning. Suffering, as Dostoevsky views it, is the great equalizer. A profound statement that holds within it a multitude of truths. For Dostoevsky, suffering is not an anomaly, an unfortunate event to be avoided at all costs. Rather, it's an integral aspect of human existence, a universal experience that binds us all together. Suffering has a unique ability to strip away the facades we create, the illusions we maintain. It's a mirror held to our faces, forcing us to confront our own reflection, our true selves. It's in these moments of suffering that we come face to face with our own vulnerabilities, our fears, and our insecurities. The masks fall away, leaving only the raw, unvarnished reality of who we are. But in this stark honesty, there is a profound liberation. When we are stripped of illusions, we're given an opportunity to rebuild, to grow, to evolve. Suffering can also serve as a catalyst, a tool for transformation. It can foster empathy, that deep, resonant understanding of another's pain, another's struggle. This empathy can lead to moral clarity, a sharper understanding of right and wrong, good and bad. It's through this empathy that we can truly begin to appreciate the inherent interconnectedness of life. We begin to see how our actions, our decisions, our words ripple outwards, affecting those around us, shaping the world in ways both small and large. And it's through this understanding of interconnectedness that we begin to realize our moral obligations to one another. We're not solitary beings adrift in a vast, indifferent universe. We're part of a larger whole, bound together by a shared humanity. Our actions matter, not just to us, but to those around us. Our suffering is not just our own, but a shared experience that can serve as a bridge, connecting us to others in a profound and meaningful way. Suffering is a road to redemption. It's through suffering that we can truly understand our shared humanity, our interconnectedness. It's through suffering that we can find a deeper sense of purpose, a greater appreciation for the beauty and complexity of life. It's through suffering that we can find redemption, not just for ourselves, but for each other. Extreme individualism can lead to alienation and despair. These words echo the cautionary wisdom of Fyodor Dostoevsky. A Russian novelist of profound insight, he was deeply skeptical of the modern infatuation with the self, a trend that often puts the individual over the community. In Dostoevsky's perspective, a society that prizes individualism at the expense of collective responsibility is a society on the brink of moral decay. It's easy to be seduced by the allure of individualism, the freedom it promises, but this is a dangerous illusion. It breeds a sense of self-sufficiency, a belief that we can navigate the world unaided, unencumbered by obligations to others, but in doing so, we sever the ties that bind us to our fellow human beings. We isolate ourselves within our own egos, and in this isolation we find not freedom but loneliness, not empowerment but despair. Dostoevsky's narratives are filled with characters who fall into this trap, who believe they can stand alone, separate from the moral fabric that weaves us together, and in their pride, they invite turmoil, suffering, and ultimately, destruction. They are tragic reminders of the heavy cost of unchecked individualism. Yet Dostoevsky also provides us with a solution, a principle, a way out of this trap. Collective responsibility, a profound moral duty to others. This isn't a call to abandon our individuality, but rather a challenge to balance it with our obligations to the community, to recognize that our actions ripple beyond ourselves, impacting the world around us. In essence, Dostoevsky urges us to confront the lies we tell ourselves, the self-deceptions that blind us to our interconnectedness. This is no easy task. It demands courage, humility, and a willingness to acknowledge our own flaws, but in this recognition lies the path to true freedom, to authentic purpose, to a life of deeper meaning. Our greatest challenge is confronting the lies we tell ourselves. Recognizing our interconnectedness opens ourselves to deeper fulfillment and purpose.